Hello. Okay. This is going to be kind of a difficult video for me to do because I have to try to recall things. There are pieces missing from my memory. But there are little things here and there that I remember. First off, I want to start off by saying that I'll tell a quick story. I'll make it short. When I was about 9 years old, my family and I were living overseas in a place called American Samoa. It's in the South Pacific. Me, of course, you know, this little blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl. They call them palanges. That's what they call us white people, palanges. It's kind of like how the Hawaiians call us haoles, or the Mexicans would call me a gringa, you know, male gringo. Anyway, and my friend Amada, she had red hair. She was, you know, a ginger, carrot top, and she had really, like, hazel-colored eyes, and her little brother, Chemo, who had brown hair and blue eyes. She also had a sister named Josie, who looked a lot like me. She had blonde hair and blue eyes. They all three of them had the same mom, the same dad, but they all looked like completely different from each other. Okay, anyway, my point is we were at the playground in this neighborhood, and it was probably about, I don't know, close to 7 o'clock at night, and I had to be home by 7:30. So we were the only ones there. All the kids had gone inside. We were just kind of sitting out there. We weren't sitting on like a swing or anything like that. There was like this pipe-like thing that came up out of the ground and was shaped kind of like, well, like this, you know. And it was yellow, and we were playing on that, you know, like sitting on it, climbing on it, and we were just talking about, I don't even know what we were talking about. We were little kids. When all of a sudden, I saw this red dot. It wasn't a light. It wasn't shiny. It was almost like a balloon would look, but very, very red. And it was just in the sky, and it looked pretty far away. And there was an airport there. There was the FAA was very close to this neighborhood. So, sorry, excuse me, this is my one really bad habit that I'm actually quitting, but I don't know. Lately, I've probably been smoking more than I should. I mean, I don't really drink. I don't do anything. This is my one crutch. This and singing, which this is horrible for singing. Okay, sorry, back to my point. So I see this red dot in the sky, and I didn't really think anything of it. I just thought, oh, there's a balloon up there, and I pointed it out to Amada and Chemo, and they both looked at it and were like, yeah. We forgot about it, went back to talking and playing. And all of a sudden, I noticed that this red dot had grown. It had gotten closer, and it was just hovering there like a giant balloon in the sky. It was weird. It wasn't moving the way a balloon should move. It wasn't stationed in the sky the way that you would expect a balloon to be. And this is on a tropical island. There's wind. This thing was not blowing around. It was like it was literally just had an intelligence to it, and it was just doing its own thing. So we thought that was odd, but again, being small kids, we didn't really think too much of it. Although I kept looking at it, and I just thought, why does this thing keep getting closer and closer to us? This went on for a good 15 minutes, and then I realized, oh gosh, you know, 7:30, I gotta get home. It was a good 10 or 15 minute walk home. Amada and Chemo lived on the same side of the neighborhood as me, so we decided we were going to start walking home. We start walking, and how do I explain this? It was like almost like a heaviness in the air. We felt this thing. I know I did. So I turned around, and this red dot was literally hovering right over us. Right over us. And at this point, you could see that it was a round, you know, three-dimensional circle. It was solid. Of course, it had... I don't even know how to explain this thing. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. But it was red. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a light. It wasn't shiny. There was no noise. It was completely quiet. I do remember not hearing any birds or cars going by. We heard absolutely dead silence when we saw this thing. It scared us so bad, we started to run. I mean, that was our first instinct, run. So we did. Chemo fell, scraped his knees all up, his hands. Actually, I fell too and skinned my hands a little bit. I don't remember Amada falling. But anyway, we got back up and we hauled, excuse my French, ass. We hauled ass. We ran all the way down to where, like, there was another park and tennis courts. We had to turn right at the end of that street where the tennis court was to go home, well, to get to our street, which was also right. It was like a right and then a right. I'm only pointing these things out because I want you to realize I even remember which way I had to turn. I remember the tennis courts. I remember everything. By the time we got there, of course, as kids, what do? We run up to our friends. We start telling everybody what we saw. They laughed at us. They thought it was funny. I was completely changed by this experience. And so was Amada and Chemo. When I got home, the first person I wanted to tell was my dad. Because my dad, very spiritual man, he believes, he believed in, ghosts and God, and he believed in aliens, other beings on other planets. I was raised in a strict Mormon home, and Mormons believe, in essence, that God is an alien. He lives on a planet, that's what Mormons believe. I mean, in a nutshell. They believe it's deeper than that, but yeah. So, yeah, it went out. So anyway, I decided to tell my father because I just knew he was going to believe me. Well, what does my dad say? Did it land and Superman get out? My brothers laughed about it. My mom, they were like, it's nothing, don't worry about it. The FAA is right there. It's probably some kind of airplane thingy-majigger, I don't know. So they just blew it off as nothing, and of course, I ended up going the rest of my life never forgetting that experience, knowing exactly what I saw. Well, I mean, I don't know what I saw, but I knew and I know that I saw this thing. I don't know. Did I see a UFO? Did I see a giant weather balloon that could move in a way that I've never seen anything like that on this planet move like that? It would literally just... It could move at a rate of speed, like, so quickly. It was almost like it would disappear and reappear. It was so strange. So anyway, there's a lot more, but I'm going to go ahead and just leave this as it is, this story, and then I will tell in my next video a story about something that happened to me last night. Literally last night. I am almost afraid to even talk about it, but I feel like I need to, and I need to at least record it for myself, so that I remember it, because it's like, it hasn't even been 24 hours, and there's already pieces of my memory that are missing from this experience. It's like it's going away. So anyway, thank you for listening. If there's anybody out there who's seen anything like what I just described I'd seen when I was 9 years old, and I'm 40 now, please leave a comment about it. Tell me about it. Subscribe to my channel. I'll subscribe to your, whatever. Message me. I want an explanation. So if anybody else out there has seen anything like that, that's red like that, and it was like a dull color, it was like a metallic but dull, I don't even know how to explain it, but any better than that. Anyway, thank you for listening. My next video will be about my experience last night. It's terrifying. So anyway, goodbye, and blessings to you all.